So let's talk about the first story, this Project Veritas expose on these CNN morning calls. I think you're going to see that they're doing a little more than reporting on the news and remaining objective. Here is about a 2-minute compilation clip from the last few months of what CNN President Jeff Zucker has been telling his employees each and every morning.
Okay, I just want to reemphasize that, I think we cannot normalize what has happened here in the last week with Trump and his behavior. And I go back to what David Chalian said, that this is a president who knows he's losing, who knows he's in trouble, is sick, maybe is on the after effects of steroids or not, I don't know, but he is acting erratically and desperately, and we need to not normalize that. This is what we've come to expect for the last 3.5 years, 4 years, but it clearly is exacerbated by the time that we're in and the issues that he's dealing with. And I think that we cannot just let it be normalized. He is all over the place and acting erratically, and I think we need to lean into that.
The Trump media, moves immediately from, okay, well, never mind that unmasking was, found to be completely nonsensical, to the latest alleged scandal, and expects everybody to just follow suit. So I don't think that we should be repeating unsubstantiated smears just because the right-wing media suggests that we should. Frankly, if we've made any mistake, it's that our banners have been too polite, and we need to go well after Lindsey Graham. There's a ton going on. Let's stay strong. Let's stay newsy. Let's stay urgent. Let's be smart. There is a lot of news out there, and Lindsey Graham really deserves it. Each of these so-called scandals for Trump, each of these things, we should just once again be careful to say that this is the one that is going to undo him with his voters. And to respond to David Chalian's points about politics, I don't know why we would expect any of these politicians to have a conscience or expect that politics wouldn't be completely hypocritical. And for us to expect anything else would be naive.
All right, so let me do the cleanup job here first, which is that this is just the stuff. This is obviously a small compilation of the stuff that Project Veritas is leaking out. So could there be stuff that is against the Democrats and against Joe Biden and against the Obama machine and against Kamala Harris and Bernie Sanders and the rest of it? There could be. Did any of that get seen to light? No, but I think it's pretty obvious from the way that they talk about Trump. I mean, some of the things, we cannot normalize Trump and his behavior. He's sick, maybe he's on the effect of steroids. That was right after Trump came out of the hospital after having COVID. I mean, these types of things, we cannot normalize his behavior. When he says this thing about the banners should maybe even be a little more aggressive, in essence, talking about Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham really deserves it. We cannot normalize these things, and a bunch of other stuff. I think what you can see is that clearly these people are Democrats. Like, is there any chance, even without having full context, meaning I don't think O'Keefe released every single day the completely unedited footage of anything, is there any doubt that these people were anti-Trump and anti-Republican and wanted to frame things in a certain way, right? So if you're a reporter, and I think this is why CNN gets more crap than any of the other networks, it's like MSNBC, it's obviously lefty. Fox News, it's obviously on the right. There's no doubt about it. CNN is pretending to be nothing while it obviously leans left. So people think of CNN, or from the old days of CNN, you think of it, and this is what you should think of journalism, by the way, because this is what journalism is supposed to be. It's supposed to be that they report on what happens, not give you a lens on what happens, right? That's what news is. Now, I always say I'm not a journalist. What I'm trying to do is every day I wake up, there's a couple stories here, I discuss it with my guys, And then I tell you about those stories and I give you my opinion. I am not pretending to be a journalist on the ground. I am taking the information that other people report, the happenings of the world, and I'm telling you what I think. I think it's very obvious where my biases may lie, and you guys know about my political evolution and everything else. That's how you do something roughly honestly, I believe, okay? And I'm not pretending to be something that I'm not. But what CNN is basically saying there, what Zucker is saying is, we have to present these stories through a certain lens, as opposed to say, this is what happened. This is what Trump said. This is what the other guys said. We are presenting it because this is what journalism is. But we have to be careful not to make Trump look this way, and maybe don't say this, and we should say more of this. And I think that the average person has just caught onto the game. You know, again, it's like, is Wolf Blitzer a Democrat or a Republican? Is Jake Tapper a Democrat or a Republican? Is Don Lemon a Democrat or a Republican? Is Chris Cuomo a Democrat or a Republican? Is Brian Stelter a Democrat or a Republican? Is Acosta, what's his first name? Jim Acosta, is he a Democrat or a Republican? It's like all of these people, you know they're all Democrats. And I think just seeing, it's just, all this is peeling off another layer of the onion into all of these headlines. Basically, CNN headlines basically are the onion at this point. But this is just peeling off another layer and just seeing how they craft the news. And by the way, I don't know that there is a perfect way to report news anymore. I don't know that there is, because if someone just reported straight up news, unbiased news, would anyone even watch it? I don't know, because I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume that when CNN looks at their ratings, that the biased stuff, the crazed anti-Trump stuff, that probably gets many more views than the other stuff. And that is a problem, and I think it's something that we're going to have to deal with. It's going to become a bigger and bigger problem as the years go by, because as long as the internet remains roughly free, and I'm not so sure how long that'll be, we are all going to figure out ways to go to people who either confirm our biases or see the world more similarly or in a similar fashion as we do, and that is a problem, and I don't know that there's really any good answer for it.